G'day guys, BV here, and in this video we're going to talk about the rowing piece that we're going to be doing today. So you're going to be doing with your partner 8 sets of rowing intervals, 500/450 meters together with your partner. You are going to do your row in a block of 2 minutes, and then you're going to hand it over to your partner where you rest in that 2, your partner does 2, and then you're going to hit another set of that. You're going to do that continuously over 8 sets. And what I want you to achieve out of this is pace, right? So guys, you're on 500, girls, you're on 450. Your target time will be in the 145 to 150 mark. And that's a real key thing for you to look at over here. Your technique's going to decide whether or not you're going to be able to complete your 500 or 450 meters in that time frame. Now, here's the thing. If you are unable to complete the 500, 450 in that time frame, then what I'd like you to do is to check the distance that you have hit in that 145, 150 mark, and then you're going to try and repeat that repeatedly over the 8 sets that you're going to do. It's about consistency, it's about pace. If you're unable to, if you can finish the 500 meters in that time frame, but you are cooked, then it is too fast for you. You need to back it down and dial it down a little bit. And that is the idea of this session. What I also want you to note is your technique when you're doing your row. When you're doing your row, the majority of that leg drive is going to be the key thing of it as well. So we're talking about a technique, and then we'll also talk about a stroke rate and how fast you're going to be rowing so that you're going to maintain a set pace. Now, if you are not rowing well, and if you are bouncing all over the place and your cable is flapping up and down, you're going to be losing energy and you're losing power in the execution of the movement itself. Now, what you want to do is to make sure that you have a very strong leg drive. Make sure the legs lock out, they stay nice and tight in through there. You pull your body back just a smidge, and then you finish with the arms to follow through the movement, and the handles should almost be touching your body right about here. Now, if you are not doing that, then chances are you're not going to be able to drive the most amount of power into the rope. Of course, you do know that as you row, the rowing does favor somebody who's a little bit taller with longer limbs, but me as a shorter framed person with shorter limbs, I need to make sure my technique is up to scratch and just bang on so that I can stay in competition or contention with some of these guys with the longer arms and the longer legs. Now, that being said, you must make sure that you do the same thing as well whilst you're doing your row, because strong leg drive, little bit of a body pull. I always think about it, legs, body, arms, and that's my thing that I think of. The other thing that I'd like you to notice will be the number at the bottom left side of your rowing screen. And it's a small number, it's a double-digit number, and it says SM, or strokes per meter, and it's your stroke rate of how fast you're rowing. Now, what I want you to keep, what I want you to think of is to keep that row rate under 30. Between 20 and 30 is the ideal place where you should be having that row rate. If you are over 30 strokes per minute, then it's obvious that you are going too fast. You are sprinting in a row, which is not ideal because you do not want to be sprinting a very long distance. Or you know that you got 8 sets of this to do, which is about 4Ks anyway. So you can't be sprinting it out at the start. So you need to be at a pace that's manageable for you, and you can't be you got to give yourself a little bit of a break as well, right? So think about this. You're going for a 4,000 meter run, and you start off at a blistering pace, you're sprinting it all out. What happens next? You're going to be cooked, and you're not going to be able to complete the run. So this stroke rate here slows you down, and because you're at 20 to 30 only, you are able to recover. You're able to give your muscles a little bit of time to relax, and then you're able to put more power into that cable and pull a little bit stronger the next time round. And if you can pull a little bit stronger, have a little bit more recovery in each individual row, you're going to be at a better pace, you're going to not use as much energy, and you can not feel cooked or spicy in your legs, which is probably the worst feeling that you're going to get if you are going to do ate lots of it and you're cooked by the time you get to 4. That means the intensity is too much for you and you need to dial it back down. Okay, so that said, you a couple of things I want you to think about. I want you to think about the technique of the row and how fast you row. Those 2 things, all right? Legs, body, arms. Those are the 3 cues that you think of. And then after that is your stroke rate, 20 to 30. Don't row too fast. If you are hitting over 30, slow it down. Keep it between 20 and 30, and you should be able to finish this workout within that time frame. If you don't have a partner and you're going to do this as an individual, you want to set the rower to a interval distance option where you can set the distance to 500 or 450, and then you give yourself a rest of 2 minutes. And when you can do this, what happens is you're going to get an exact 2 minutes rest after you completed your 500 or 450, and you kind of get robbed with, you know, a couple of seconds here and there off your time off the clock, but then you're going to be rowing on every 2 minutes and you're going to be timed for that. Okay, so you want to hit 8 sets of that, and your goal in that 8 sets is also to make sure that you are maintaining a same amount of pace right through. Your technique is sound, your stroke rate is amazing at about 20 to 30, and you're going to get a nice little sweat up from it. Okay, guys, and that's it for now, guys. I hope this made sense, and I hope you got a little bit of value out of how you're going to be, you know, attacking or strategizing this row for this row set here. And eventually, this is really going to give you the muscular endurance that you're going to need in a lot of the training that we do. Okay, it is about you consistently working for about 2 minutes at a time, and that's going to really drive up your fitness level for a lot of the workouts that we do, and you are able to maintain a pretty high between 75 to about 85%, you know, intensity in a 2 minute time frame. When you look at workouts like this, you want to look at the reason behind it and see whether or not you can figure out whether or not you can train to apply this to other areas of your fitness, and that's the most important thing. So if you're able to hit 8 sets at a pretty high intensity in here, and you can actually save a bit of energy and keep going on for 8 sets at a time, you're going to do really good. When it comes to workout where it's only 2 minutes, when you have to really absolutely send it, you have those skills for you to actually do that workout at a much higher pace. Now, that being said as well, you know, if you are doing, you know, 8 sets of rowing, your rowing is going to get a way lot better as well, which is going to be amazing because, you know, sometimes, you know, you really need to put in the K's to understand how to row, and that's how I understood how to row as well, is by doing a lot of intervals with rowing, and you kind of figure out which way actually works for your row. Because I think, you know, if you haven't done a lot of rowing before, and, you know, we don't do a lot of rowing in CrossFit, but we do it every now and again, it's good to actually get this session in so that you can actually see and feel what it's like to be better at that technique, so that you don't work too hard. Maybe, you know, you hate rowing because, you know, you're not doing it correctly, or maybe you have not been taught the right way to do it. And so the only way to do it is to try and remember a couple of key points. There's a whole lot in science to how you row as well, but we'll dive down and dive deep into that later on down the track. But for today, I just want you to focus on 3 things. This is your technique of your pole, legs, body, arms, and then how fast you're rowing. Start with that first, and everything is going to fall into place. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. I hope this was valuable to you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. All right, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the gym soon.